So I'm very pleased to talk with Flunk, also known as probably the prettiest band in Oslo. The band is now 20 years old. So what keeps you going, guys?
I don't know. We ended up to be kind of like a strange family. When you love doing music, it's very hard to stop, kind of. Mm. Yeah. And then we toured a lot, and it's been fun to tour a lot. And but maybe we're too old. I don't know, but it's very hard to stop, so we just continue.
Also, why quit?
Yeah, why quit?
It takes us places.
Yeah.
I was wondering, how did Flunk spend this pandemic year? I mean, creatively speaking. So what did you guys do?
It was kind of a bit convenient and a bit awkward because we were planning to record a new album anyway. So then we hadn't put up that many concerts. So in that way, it was convenient. But we had also planned to record more together, at least record the vocals here. But the day we were going to do that, they closed down whole of Norway. So then most of the recordings have been done in each our households during the last year, and sending files back and forth.
Didn't make that much difference, I think. But maybe like the feel of it is a bit darker than it would have been, probably. But practically it's the same.
I watched this interview on YouTube where you explained you work in the studio for Lost Causes, and you didn't seem so very satisfied by the experience. Why so? I mean, why was it an issue for you guys?
Very, very good question.
Yeah. That's very hard to answer, but I think like having in an extra person that we're going to record everything, and everything had to be done in a certain amount of time and this way and not that way. I think we like to just do what we do without anyone else like coming in and changing what we do. Yeah, I think it's mostly that we. Yeah.
You lose kind of control over parts of the project, and for me personally, I think it's quite hard to work with, because I don't know any notes. I don't know how the right expressions. I never bothered to learn, so I find it hard to communicate with someone else.
Ole, you're the professional musician, and you're the last one who joined the group. So was it hard to get into this Flunk equation?
Originally, I think I'm a band type of guy, so it was kind of familiar. Because my way into music is playing in a band, so it was a bit like coming home again.
It's like also a studio genius, kind of making a lot of fun and beautiful things by yourself as well.
Yeah. So bass playing is my main thing, but it's also very cool to do different things with Flunk. Atmosphere and synths and noise and strange stuff.
Can you give me like the history of Everything Ever?
Someone asked us to make a song to be sent to the moon. So that's that's what,
that was the beginning. That it was planned to send up an art project with some other things up to the moon. And then we were asked to make a song to be sent to the moon, and then we did that. But then they don't think they afforded it, so it's the project.
But it's still
possible.
It's still possible. So they're still working on it. But I think it's there was someone making a landing
vessel. Landing vessel.
And they went bust. And I don't know, but I think it might be still on. It's a SpaceX project. So
tell me why you choose the title "History of Everything Ever."
We're getting older, and then you get more thoughts about or maybe many people have them all their lives, but sometimes you get more thoughts about the wholeness of life and the whole like route from the beginning to the end. And I feel like you have more history to tell, kind of, and you see the history in your history in a different way. So at least when you came up with that title, I thought that it was a good title where I am in my life right now. So
Where is that?
where's that?
and also I think every time we make an album, it's a very tense process. So I always think this might be the last one, and I might die when we get this done. So the last album was called Lost Causes, which could be the last one, and now it's History of Everything Ever, which also could be the last one, and Still Alive though. But it's true, I really think that way every time. It's very hard. It's very, very hard to get an album finished.
I think I'll sleep in my sleeping bag under the open sky, and the stars are out and the jet lag too. Falling in love with you, and our heartbeats are synchronized with the bass drum pumping from the park nearby. It's the sweetest sound of summer nights in the twilight before sunrise. Before sunrise. Crazy days of summer, we're staying up all night. Here comes the crazy days of summer, let's talk all night. Here comes the crazy days of summer, we're staying up all night. With you. With you, with you, with you, with you, with you, falling in love, falling in love, falling in love, in love again with you, falling in love with you. With you. Here comes the crazy days of summer, we're staying up all night. With you, with you, with you.
I thought that your previous album, Chemistry and Math, was very homogeneous in its atmosphere, while History of Everything Ever seems much more eclectic to me. Would you agree with me on that? And was it your purpose when you start writing it, or?
I like to not always make things very typical, like a bit more strange, and that it's more the atmosphere that is like running the song. But it's very hard when you also like to make tunes. So it's becoming a mix. Yeah. So I think Ulf and me like at the stage agreed on that we would allow this album to be more eclectic. Like it was okay for it to be like that.
I guess we always tend to agree that this should be more abstract, more electronic, and more eclectic, and then it starts, and then it kind of turns out the way it turns out.
Yeah.
Why did you choose David Bowie this time for a cover?
It's actually a sad song, but at the same time, it gives you so much energy. Like you feel like dancing, and you can like dance and cry at the same time. And I think that we always wanted to do this for our julebord, the Christmas
Party.
Christmas party, but we never managed. So then
it's a very difficult song.
It's a difficult song to do as well. So then we thought, why not do it on the album? Yeah.
I think it's one of his best songs, and also I think it's one of the best, productions, and it's the best solved song ever. One of the best songs ever. A bit like Blue Monday, I think, where the original is such a perfect production.
There are a lot of strings and piano on the album.
The thing is, we went to Poland to do some songs with an orchestra in Bydgoszcz in Poland, and Ole has been working a lot with orchestra, so it was kind of natural, and having a resource like Ole in the band, we just had to kind of use it.
And I think I just give you a lot of offers. Just can you do this? Can you
use this?
Use these things? So I just come up with a lot of different variations, and Ulf is cutting and pasting and things like that.
Depending on the song, because you were saying that, there are songs that are very acoustic and some that are very electronic. So can you say whose idea it is when you came up with an acoustic song and another one with electronic song?
As we are talking pre-pandemic, I don't remember. So, but this one, we had some guitar like loops or small parts, which Joe made. And I think we always have like a small bank of acoustic guitar rounds, and we work with them. And sometimes it becomes something different, but most of the time, I guess they turn out pretty much acoustic. But what happens is when you spend like 2, 3, 4 years making an album and work on it like almost daily, you get a point where you get sick and tired of things, and you start kind of remixing. So what I always do is at some point I start remixing the tracks, and that's where the electronic tracks start evolving.
Were you influenced by any kind of music while you were producing History of Everything Ever?
Under the Covers is Lana Del Rey riff, so it's practically the same, but it's very common. What's it called?
Common chords.
Chords.
Yeah.
So progression. But I've listened a lot to Lana for like the last 10 years. I think Down Here, the Man with a Bow, the song also is kind of it started to be about the pandemic, I think.
And also the situation.
Because I was reading like 1984, Orwell, and it's very Orwellian. I think, and you could kind of see the health workers going into the night shift at the hospital. That's, to me, it came alive as the real thing happening, real time.
So how do you guys share the lyrics duties?
Ulf is the brain there in the lyrics, but it depends. Sometimes like Ulf comes up with like a finished lyric, and other times mostly when I make the melody, I have part of the lyrics and some words and maybe a good hook, and then you come in and and make it better, I would say.
No, actually not necessarily better, but I make more sense of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have better English vocabulary than me, and I'm more into sensation and the sound of the melody together with the words, and like the feeling this brings me, and then then I come up with some hooks that maybe work, and then like Ulf comes in, works a bit, and I change a bit again, and yeah.
I think we're on the same planet actually, but I have a problem with not being able to write out the lyrics. I think it should give meaning on paper, and but then again, I know how good Sigurus sounds, and they make like Icelandic or a made-up language, and it works. So, but I'm stuck in a world where words in songs should
have a meaning.
Yeah.
But I agree. Yeah. But sometimes I think like maybe because I'm more like, I know that there's other artists that are also into the sounds and the feeling it makes than like the meaning. But it's good when you have both. That's the best thing.
Because the truth is, we have lots of songs where there are made up words and I use, but I've sort of like cut it into it. It sounds like they give meaning.
What was the hardest thing you had to go through during the production of this album?
Finishing it.
Agreeing and finishing. Yeah, it's always hard. Sometimes you just have to finish, and it becomes what it becomes. I think that's the most difficult part for me. Is like saying that this is
enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Yeah, yeah. I think if I were alone, I couldn't release a single record.
There will be a Flunk EP. One.
So that's a common problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are never able to finish anything. If you're always wondering if you could do it better or
gotta move on.
Yeah, you gotta move on.
But what's your favorite song on the album?
Well, right now I think Midsummer. I think that's something there.
Yeah, maybe Midsummer. I have to look and see.
What's on this one?
What's
I forgot my
songs
glasses.
again?
Which one?
Yeah, I would say Midsummer is like a special acoustic, but with the others, I also like it when we go a bit far out, strange, like in Pullover and Fate. I like that kind of thing when it's a bit quirky, strange. And also I like cute, fluffy things. Yeah. That was 4, not 1.
Half the record.
And also,
Yeah.
I like the number 9.
Which one is that?
Pint of lager in the back.
I get you.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's a nice one.
That's a nice one. I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. It's a nice song. It makes you want to sing.
You can edit this interview, yeah? It's possible to edit.
You know what I mean. I got you under my skin. I wait for somebody like you. You get me. You know what I mean. I got you under my skin. I wait get me. You know what I mean. I've got you under my skin. I'll wait for somebody like you. I get you. You know what I mean. You get me. You know what I mean. I get you. You know what I mean. You get me. You know what I mean. I wait for somebody like you. I wait for you.